Hello friends, I am Avinash, Dr. Avinash Pamar. I am Head Department of Computer Science and Director Computer Center at Mohanlal Sukhade University, Udaipur, Rajasthan. Today I am talking about a very normal topic, or I must say something which we all practice, and telling teachers how to teach is one of the most daring things to do, and this is what I am trying to do today. Yes, the topic for my session is teaching in higher education, a guide for practitioners. We all have been teaching, but there are certain fundamental aspects of teaching which we tend to overlook over a period of time. Friends, these are the things which I am going to talk about. In fact, my objective is to give you some food for thought to contemplate on the very fundamental aspects of teaching which we tend to overlook over a period of time. As time passes, we become complacent. So, let us refresh these basic concepts. I plan here to present to you a fundamental set of 6 basic activities which really will boost your delivery and its influence on students. To name it, these 6 fundamental activities are creation of a knowledge base of teaching and learning. Do not worry, I will elaborate on each of these. Willingness to accept status quo, sounds typical, but again I will be elaborating more onto it. Plan for instructional management, implementation of creative and innovative teaching strategies in order to meet students' individual needs. Now, we are being specific here. We are not talking about a mass, we are talking about student as an individual. Then we come to tracking the student's progress and rewarding him, and last but not the least, being a passionate learner and a teacher. So, these are the 6 fundamental activities which I am to elaborate upon, and trust me, these are the essence of a good teacher in higher education. I will take all these topics one by one. To begin with, let us talk about creation of a knowledge base of teaching and learning. Now, the question arises, what sort of knowledge base I am talking about, is not it? In this context, the knowledge base forms the basis of teaching. It is an organized repository of information related to a particular subject and consists of concepts, data, objectives, requirements, rules, specifications. Think of any topic or any object which is related to your subject, it is part of the database. In fact, I will call it as a knowledge database. It can be regarded as a database used for knowledge sharing and management, and it promotes the collection, organization and retrieval of knowledge. Its salient property is that it grows with use. Normally, we believe that if I am using something, it is going to get depleted, it will get over, but trust me, knowledge database is something which grows with use. The more you use it, the more it grows. In fact, if I relate it with my subject, that is computer science, this is what AI does, artificial intelligence. You have a robot, the robot learns with age, it learns with practice. This is what we also do as humans, and in fact, this is what AI is all about, implementing human way of thinking into computers. So, this is the term I have picked up, maybe it is a legacy of my subject, but it fits very well into the concept of delivery in higher education. Another important point to note is that knowledge base is unique for every individual teacher. Now, you must be wondering how. My memories are unique to me, my experiences are unique to me, my thought process is unique to me, my actions are unique to me, is not it? So, all what you do, all what you think, all what you read, everything adds on to your knowledge base. Mark my word, I said your knowledge base, not the students or everybody else's. It is your knowledge base, that is your IP, intellectual property, that you have to cherish throughout your lifetime. What it does is, this knowledge base shapes your actions, molds your personality and makes you what you are as a teacher, and it is contextual and based on practical experience, linking theory to practice and content. Again, it helps in improving the thinking process and overcomes the confusions and dilemmas of the student learner. So, stronger your knowledge base, better you are as a teacher. Now, the question arises as to how to build this database. It is complex, and let me explain. Teaching knowledge base includes self knowledge of teacher, what you have learned, what you have acquired, your basic fundamental knowledge. And again, it is not the only thing. In fact, it is said whatever you know, even if a fraction of it is conveyed to the student, you have become a good teacher. So, larger the knowledge base, the more self knowledge you have about the subject, the more you are going to deliver to the student, the more better student you are going to make him. Another important aspect is what adds to your knowledge base is knowledge of students. Now, you must be wondering what I mean by knowledge of students. I mean knowledge about the students, what they are, who they are, what background they come from, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, what are the areas you need to work upon onto them, their personal traits. So, it is a sort of profiling. I will talk more about it when we come further across this relevant topic. I will talk more about it. Knowledge of education. As a teacher, you learn certain pedagogical techniques, you learn certain methods, you learn how to teach. This is the knowledge of education I am talking about. It is one part of it, delivery is one part of it, but education as a system, how it grows, what is the scope, what are the career paths, what are the opportunities in a specific domain, what are the limitations of a specific domain, that all is part of your knowledge base. And this knowledge base is something that is very accommodating. It will not say that yes, bring this in and take it out. It will allow everything that comes in, and through its own natural flow of process, it will decide what is important, what is not important, and that will be secluded. And trust me, all this happens inherently within your brain, in your thought process, in your thinking. You do not have to write an algorithm for that. Next comes the knowledge of the curriculum. A good teacher is one who has planned his content well, and he actually knows that what am I supposed to teach under this specific context. So, knowledge of the curriculum is again a very important component of your knowledge base, because you need to draw a boundary. If you do not have a boundary, then how do you define existence in a given territory, jurisdiction within a given concept. So, definitely the knowledge of the curriculum is another very important aspect. Then comes the knowledge of educational ends, why I am teaching the students, why the student has taken up this course, what are his expectations, what is the objective. So, this is the knowledge of the educational ends, the outcome, the expected outcome, because unless and until I know the destination, I cannot plan my journey, right. So, that is why we are saying that the knowledge of educational ends is again one very important component that adds to the knowledge base. And last but not the least, knowledge of content per se. Now, you must be wondering, what is this knowledge of content? Is it the subject knowledge? No, it is the knowledge of what you have, what is your strength, what you possess. If I have some pedagogical strengths, if I have some specific resources with me, maybe in the form of some content, laboratory, experiments, there are certain tools or techniques I am expert in, maybe I have certain books which are very rare, what all I have which is part of my knowledge base. It is like an index of your book. Your knowledge base is your book. The knowledge of your content per se is the index of that book. Okay? So, that is what I am saying. I have everything, and if I forget when to use which tool, it is of no sense, is not it? So, having the knowledge about the self, your competencies, is a very important part of building up your knowledge base. And again, this knowledge base does not happen in a few sessions or a few days or few hours. This is a everlasting process from the point of view of a teacher. As a faculty member, one constantly needs to focus on self improvement. Now, you must be wondering what sort of self improvement I am talking about. I am perfect as a teacher. Yes, that is the self belief, and this is the confidence that we require as a teacher. But to grow as a teacher and for this confidence to be maintained, you need to do certain self improvement exercises. First and the foremost, self study. Do not leave your books. Books are equally important for the teachers as they are for the students. We come across our colleagues, our friends who keep on delivering a same subject, same course time and again. Over a period of time, they are so averse with it, they do not even need to read the book. I know everything about my subject. Trust me, the subjects are growing, the concepts are growing, the world is changing. So, whatever knowledge you had from that book or about that subject, that is gradually getting outdated. Brush it off. You need to refresh it, and that comes in the concept of self study. You need to revise concepts. You know, it is a human tendency that over a period of time you tend to forget things, the memory deteriorates. So, maybe you must have studied something at given instance or a particular time you are very good in it, but maybe over a period of time you must have skipped certain concepts. Read, read and reread. This is one of the fundamental rules of being a good teacher in higher education. Second is participate in MOOCs. It is such a wonderful concept we have obtained now. We are living in an era which is flooded with information, with knowledge. In fact, so much so we say that we are information rich, but knowledge poor. So, MOOCs has come into our help. They have compiled huge content and it is available free of cost. Why not to take advantage of it, participate into it, you will love to become a student again. I have done it, and that is why I can say with so much of conviction that you too are going to love it. Next, you could have go for in-service education and training, like some diploma, some evening course, some allied subject, a short term course, a long term course, something that keeps the student in you alive. Do not let the student within you die. The moment that happens, we have lost it. So, this sort of educational programs, in service education trainings, they really help you in growing as a teacher. Go for study visits. Normally we tend to go for seminars and conferences, definitely they have their own significance, but going on study leaves is a very different aspect. Leaving aside all your responsibilities, taking off of let us say a month or something, taking some sort of leave and getting into the shoes of a student on a full time basis, it really is a wonderful experience. Keep trying it. It will give you a perspective of your student. You know, at one stage we too were the students, and if we still remember the challenges which we faced as a student, definitely will grow as a teacher. There is another concept, like we talk about study circles and book clubs. Now, these study circles are groups of like minded people. It is a peer community where you talk about a common subject of interest. Have such things. Seminars, conferences, workshops, these are evergreen things which you always talk about. Gives us a chance to interface, gives us a chance to know other people, what they are doing, what are the new practices they are bringing into their delivery. So, definitely they are wonderful platform. Do participate into them. Next comes the assessment of needs. You know, when I talk about my personal growth, I need to assess my needs, what I need to learn. Like over a period of time, it so happens that I expertised into a specific subject or a domain maybe when I was a student, but now things have changed, new technologies or improved versions have come in. So, what are my needs? Do I need to grow on that? Do some introspection. Your self assessment is very important. One of the very important things is getting involved in teaching, learning, material preparation. You know, preparing for a journey is more fun than the journey itself most of the times. So, this happens into your academic delivery also. If you involve yourself right from the concept, implementation, preparing for the material, you have a plan, when to deliver what, how to assess it, it is real fun. We tend to overlook this thing. The normal practice, there is a class, I prepare for it, I compile the material, I go in the class, deliver and come back. Do not do it. Make it as a celebration, make your teaching a celebration, make your content delivery a celebration, make taking a class as a celebration. Your students are going to enjoy it and you are going to perform wonderfully well as a teacher. Management, evaluation, working with community and parents, these are the things we want a teacher to be an integral part of, because you know a child or the behavior of a child depends a lot upon the community he comes from and the sort of expectations his parents are having from him. So, unless and until you interact with these stakeholders, your evaluation of a student might not be complete. So, these are the things which all contribute to your knowledge base is as such, and this knowledge database is something which makes you a wonderful teacher.